Elysium World. Xiefeng. The 1,000-year world and the 10,000-year world is part of the positive universe. From the perspective of the materials, they are the objective existence. They can be seen and touched. All the objects in them have life longevity. The Elysium world is part of the negative world, and everything there is fantasy. In the Elysium world, time almost disappears. All the objects exist by nature instead of by the form. Sometimes they, based on their needs, can change into a certain form temporarily. But when they exist by nature, they are eternal. The Elysium world is the Western Elysium world in Buddhism. They are also called the Buddha land and Buddha state. Where is the Elysium world? It just lies in the Earth universe. Then how big is it? It has the same size as the Earth universe, including the micro-universe and macro-universe. We can understand that the Elysium universe is located millions of billions of light years away. And everything around us, including ourselves, is also in the Elysium world. As far as the dream is concerned, the space in the dream is the negative space. So what's the size of the dream of each person? No one can answer this question because the size of the dream world is determined on the dreamer's perception, experience, the degree of spiritual nature, and the thinking ability. The more perception and experience we have, the purer our spiritual nature and the more capable our thinking is, the large size our dream world will have. Some people can see the Buddha, God, sun, and rainbow in their dreams. Some people can fly on the clouds, the 1,000-year world, or the 10,000-year world with colors in their dreams. These dreams mean they have very pure spiritual nature. However, some people can never have such dreams in their life. The scenes in the dreams of some people are the same as the real human society because they have low thinking ability. Some people can solve the problems in their dreams that can never be resolved in the reality because they have deeper perception and experience. The Elysium is similar to the dream worlds because they are all the negative spaces. Whether or not we can perceive it and enter it, and how deep we can enter it depend on ourselves. To enter the dream, we rely on our perception, experience, and spiritual nature degree and thinking ability. To enter the Elysium world, we rely on our Buddhist nature, without which we can never do it. Most of the things imagined in our brains are true realities because the human brain is part of the universe. They are the reflections of the universe, just like any cell and blood in the human body can reflect his entire look. The human brains can not only reflect the positive space, but also the negative space. From the perspective of the negative space, the humans cannot imagine the whole look of the universe even if their imagination is extremely rich and vast. Now let's come to the Elysium world. Everything of the Earth universe belongs to the Elysium world. Then can we see the Earth where we live in the Elysium world? My answer is yes and no at the same time. We can because the Earth does exist in the Elysium world. We cannot because the Earth we see from the perspective of the Elysium world is different from what we humans know about the Earth. So can we see the Earth people from the Elysium world? The answer is also yes and no at the same time. We can because of the existence of human beings. We cannot because the people in the Elysium world do not have our looks and appearances. For example, what can we see in the dark night? We can see nothing except the luminous bodies. But does it mean nothing exists in the dark night simply because we cannot see them? No, they do exist. We can't see them because we do not have the ability to see them at night. We can only see the fireflies shining in the night, but we cannot see their entire bodies. Can we say the fireflies have no heads or wings because we can't see them? Definitely not. We can't see the running rats in the field in the dark night, but the owls can. Does it mean the owls have special functions? No. That's because the eyes of the owls have different retina structure from that of the humans. The eyes of many animals look the same as ours, but at night their eyes are shining green. In special circumstances, the objects have special expression forms. In the polar nights and polar light, the human eyes can see nothing, but it doesn't mean nothing exists there. In the Elysium world, the existence form of the Earth and the human beings are different from our realities. In reality, we don't see much difference between the humans. But seen from the Elysium world, the difference between humans is great. Some people almost have no form. Some people show up as a column of dim light. Some people appear as a column of red light. Some people show up in red colors with different height of light columns, because the people have different mass or nature. The mass is a spiritual nature which is formed at birth and consolidated in the enduring and persistent belief, or the so-called self-refinery and self-improvement. The long-time self-improvement can change the people's mass. The enduring self-deterioration can also change the people's mass. The existence form of life is various and weird. In each person's bedroom, there are hundreds of millions of lives invisible to us. In the surrounding space, there are thousands of flowing rivers and millions of celestial bodies. Each stone records the time lapse of thousands of years that we can't see. Our brain waves keep emitting the information waves about the health and inner world, which we cannot see either. The ghosts we often talk about are actually the life between the yin and yang worlds, which we cannot see either. The scenes in each one's dream is also invisible to us except the dreamers and people in the dream. Seen from the Elysium World, there is life everywhere in the universe. There is life not only on all the planets but also in the empty space. The life is not only on the land, but also under the land. The life is not only in the air, but also in the vacuum. There is life not only in the warm places, but also in cold weather. There is life on the sun, in the stone, on the light rays, and in the radio waves. The life is everywhere and within life. The Buddha land is remote at the universe end. The Buddha land is near in front of us. To enter the 1,000-year world and the 10,000-year world, we need time and have to pass the space tunnel. To enter the Elysium world, we can get there in an instant and become the Buddha very shortly. Because the density and mass in different zones in the universe and space are different, the 3,000 worlds have been formed. These 3,000 worlds, based on their distance and mutual dependence, are divided into 10 continents, namely Lotus Continent, Borneo Continent, Kasaipa Continent, Ingwu Continent, Amida Buddha Continent, Celestial Islands Continent, the continent for 3 realms lives to pass through, Moon Temple Continent, God's Continent, and Supreme Authentic Wisdom Continent. It is impossible to describe in detail the 3,000 worlds and 10 continents. Till now, human beings have been living for thousands of years. Today, the science has development nanometer and cloning technologies, but it still can't describe the life body of humans, let alone the vast Elysium world. What I can show you is just an outline. The universe, the Earth universe, where we live is just a particulate in the large universe. To pass the space tunnel, we have to walk through the particulate. It will take us 1,860 years, about 5.85 billion and 57 million light years. The particulate is an organic integrity revolving around the heaven world. We call this revolving body as the law rotary system, which has over 3,000 rotary river world, the large worlds. Each rotary river world has almost 3,000 milkway systems, the middle worlds. In each milkway system, there are almost 3,000 solar systems, small worlds. Please note that the so-called system is a relatively independent celestial clan. It is not that one sun-like star constitutes a solar system. In some zones, several hundred suns form a solar system. In some solar systems, there are several thousand stars, or even tens of thousands of stars. The Earth is just a member of the solar system of the small worlds, not efficient to constitute a world. From the angle of the Buddha land, we divide the 3,000 large worlds into 10 continents, namely, the 10 Buddha states. Such division is not even division of the Earth universe or based on the number of planets and galaxies. Instead, they are divided according to the features and mass of life, or the level of Buddhism. The Buddha, in common sense, is just a general concept. As a matter of fact, the Buddha has 10 levels of powers. Each level constitutes a continent. There are strict regulations in the 10 continents prohibiting the Buddha from going from one continent to another, just like the Monkey King draws a circle for Monk Tang with his Monkey King bar. But we don't have the power to enter that circle. Before coming to the mortal world, Sakyamuni used to live in the Lotus continent. Later, he passed the continent for 3 realms lives to pass through to enter the mortal world. After fulfilling his mission in the mortal world, he was then upgraded to the God's continent. The senior monks in the Buddhism, after dying, will go to the Lotus continent. Hereby, I will explain the 10 continents from the high level to the low level. The lowest level is the Lotus continent, and the highest level is the Supreme Authentic Wisdom continent.